Okie dokie guys, it's time to do the final review of the Therasauna. I've used it a bunch now, and one, I love this sauna, but there's just too many little things that kind of add up to a deal breaker for me to recommend it to people. There's a couple of troubles that I had that I think if somebody spent $3,000 on this sauna and because I recommended it, they would be a little pissed off at me. The short of it is I probably will not recommend or sell this Therasauna. The main reason is the quality control from the factory, the build quality. There's just too many corners that they cut. It's got a hiss in the stereo. So for example, I just disconnected the radio altogether and I don't use the sound system because for some reason, whether or not it's powered on or powered off, like you'll see in the other videos, this is a short review synopsis video, but I've got longer videos that show me unboxing the sauna, assembling it. You'll see that some of the trim had a missing cut that they put a pencil mark on from the factory, but they just forgot to cut it. To me, it's not a big deal. I came in here with a reciprocating saw. You'll see in the other video in a vacuum cleaner because I had to make some cuts in here just to get the rest of it put together. And it did make a mess. It's not a big deal to me, but the trouble is if somebody bought this based on a recommendation that I made and they're not handy or they don't have power tools or they don't know how to do that kind of stuff, they'd be really pissed off if they spent $3,000+ and they had to start taking a saw to their sauna. It's just not a good situation. There's too many, I mean, I don't know what you can see with the camera, focused on me, but I'll just take it off. And the roof was sent to me broken. I can fix it, but for the average person, if they, had broken the little support there where it screws down was damaged or broken in shipping, and I think for the average person, they'd be upset about that. Just the build quality in general is pretty shady. I mean, these won't stay in. They were bouncing around when I took them out of the package, and then it's kind of like, I can't do anything about it. The other thing is, it's just the corner cutting. I just don't like it. The other thing is the lights. So let's forget how to do this. There we go. So this little remote control controls the only light in there, and within like the first day, it just started flickering for no reason. And so the whole time that I'm in here, pretty much, it just flickers, and it's kind of weird. It can be kind of dark in here because the glass is tinted, which is another thing that I don't really like. You guys, I guess this is too tight of quarters here. That's why I usually do the tripod videos, but I wanted to take you inside and show you. You'll see in the installation video that some of this stuff wasn't cut. That's what I had to use the saw for. But unfortunately, I don't even use the radio. I unplugged it because the speakers have a hiss, whether you have it powered on or not. And so you're sitting in here and it's like, click, 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 which you can see that in the other videos. Electric fields are very good in this sauna. Magnetic fields, we've got a 10 milligauss magnetic field, so there is some EMF at the backrest, which I wasn't too pleased with. Just overall, the fit and the finish of this Therasauna, I want to love it because I really do like the heaters. I like the way the heaters feel. I really do. I like the intensity of the ceramic heaters. There is a little bit of problems with hot spots. So it's very intense right in front of the heater, And so if you sit between them, it's not a big deal, but you can really feel it if you move to one side and sit right in behind it. It's not a big deal as far as it not delivering a good sweat. It delivers a really good sweat. The trouble is, you kind of have to move around a little bit because it does get too intense. And there isn't any frontal or side coverage, which I don't really like that. I found myself trying to, put one leg up like this and turn to the side, which I'm kind of bigger, and this is very difficult to do, just to get some more exposure on the front and give the hot spots on my back a relief because it can be pretty intense. Me personally, I like the intensity. Some people would think that's a downfall or a shortcoming. I think it would just be a better experience if, you know, there was a couple of heaters on the side or in the front and you could turn the temperature down so that it would be more even, like I get in one of the other saunas. I'm trying to think of pros and cons. Like, I don't want to completely bash this sauna. I just don't think, I think you can get a better sauna for a little less money that'll be more suitable or that you'd be happier with. Like I said, I want to like the heaters, but there's just too many little things that add up to a deal breaker for this one. And so overall, things that I like, the only thing that I really like about this sauna is the heaters. The heaters, there's something about them that just feels right to me. It's probably because of my preference for a more intense sauna, and I like that feeling that you get from the ceramic heaters. Part of me likes the hot spots because it's almost like a challenge to build up a tolerance to that very focused beam of heat, if you will. Other than that, there isn't anything that I like about the sauna. The control panel is absolutely terrible. I should have shown you that when I had the camera in here just a second ago. The control panel is awful. It's probably the worst control panel that I've used on any sauna, even the cheap, shitty ones from Costco. But see, I don't know if you just saw that, but the light was just flickering. You could probably see it. But it's just the build quality of this thing sucks. So in order to have the light on inside, you have to have the lights on outside. So you cannot turn this light on without having these lights on. So you have to turn those lights on with the switch, and then you have to use, this is not a big deal, this is like nitpicky shit. But just so people know, the thing that I really don't like about the control panel is in order to change the temperature, there is no up-down setting. So you touch the button and it doesn't click. You have to just keep touching it and you cycle through. That's how you go down and up. So you have to go all the way down in order to go back up. It's just very cumbersome. I don't like it. The other thing that I don't like is the time. So this time button works the same way. We'll wait for that to stop blinking. And so there's no way to easily add time to a sauna session. So for example, well, I'll just show you a different example. I don't want this to be a comparison video, but let me show you. Let me see if I can keep the brand of this one out of there, because I'm not trying to badmouth any particular company or anything like that in this video. In other videos I will, but this is just a real review of the Therasauna. So in this one, let's say we were in here for an hour and the time was running out. All you have to do, and also you hear the clicks, it's very distinct. It's very easy to use control panel, even though it's in Celsius. It's not that big of a deal. But say we were down to, 42 minutes and I wanted to add more time. All I have to do is add more time. It seems stupid, and it's easy to turn the lights on and off. Everything else is just easier to do. It seems like, a dumb thing or like a quirk or a pet peeve, but really this is something that I do every day, is adjust the time when I'm in it. So because this thing takes so long to preheat, you can't really come in here and adjust the time settings once it's set, which I really don't like. So to me, this control panel is just super, super cumbersome. And I'm not touching the remote, but I thought maybe we'd finally capture this damn thing flickering. I don't know if the camera can see it or not, but this happens the entire time that you're in here. So it's just like a weird flicker that reflects off the glass, and I just don't like it at all. I know it's gonna seem like, I'm just bashing the shit out of this sauna, but it's really not my intention. I love the heaters. I want to love this sauna. I would like to, if these couple of things could be fixed or improved on, I would really like to use this sauna or keep it or recommend it or whatever. I just think, with this many little things kind of affecting, the user experience, I think if I were to recommend this, people would be really upset. Especially when they pay several $1,000s and it arrives, you got to use power tools to cut on it when it arrives. I mean, that right there is pretty much a deal breaker for everyone, unless you're handy or have a wood shop, or just the principle of it alone is enough to really rub people the wrong way. So Unfortunately, I want to love the sauna, but I don't recommend the Therasauna. This particular review of this one is, you know, I've tried this sauna a bunch of times. I've done everything that I can to try to, you know, talk myself into it. Something about the feeling of the ceramic heaters I like. I've said all this stuff before. I'm just trying to do like one review video in less than 10 minutes to give you a good overview, so you don't have to watch like 30 minutes of me unboxing it and testing it and everything else. The only other thing that I thought of is it does have, a lot of people are concerned about the EMFs. I don't have all the EMF meters in here, they're in the other room, but you can watch the EMF video just for that. This is a Gigahertz Solutions single axis meter, which is going to give a different reading than the EMF video. But you can see that we've got, you know, we've got about 1,000, 1,100. This is directional because this is a single axis meter, so if you were to actually point it at the backrest here, we've got 1,100 nanotesla, which is about 10 to 11 milligauss. This is a few inches away, and we're still at 200 nanotesla, 100, and it all depends on, because this is directional, the antenna is here. I can't, well, I guess I could actually take the camera off and show you guys, but this isn't really supposed to be an EMF review video. If you want to see the real EMF readings of this with a triple axis Gauss meter, I can't talk, Gauss meter, and it all depends on where you are with this thing, but there's a solid, you know, 10 to 12 milligauss at the backrest. So this is very directional. So if you were to use a triple axis Gauss meter and calculate the readings between the two heaters, you would get somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, 8 to 15 depending. So, but this is very sensitive. It's a high quality meter. The other thing would help is if I turn the temperature back up. I turned it down because it was making me sweat. Of course, it's not going to read unless it's on 100%. And now when the heaters, you can hear the heaters start to kick in. I don't know if you guys heard the click or not, but it's going to continue to rise. So that's about 3 to 4 milligauss. That is about 2 milligauss. And as the heaters kick in, this is going to continue to go up. So see the EMF video if you want the like the actual readings. I just know that people are you know, curious about that kind of stuff. And so that's pretty much my review of the Therasauna. If you have any questions, I'm going to put an 800 number at the bottom of every page on the blog now. So if you're on cleverleverage.com, if you're on YouTube or something like that, go to the blog. If you have questions, ask them in the comments on the blog on cleverleverage.com. I get a lot of troll comments on YouTube, and I don't spend a lot of time moderating it. It's just too much work. But if you are looking for, you know, some specific sort of question about the Therasauna, feel free to ask me and I'll help you out. See you guys in the next one.